So, why did Rachel Zegler really refuse to return for the reshoots of Disney's Snow White? And how did that decision lead to such a CGI mess that it could cost Disney millions? Apparently, the drama between Rachel and Gal Gadot has been brewing behind the scenes, with things getting so intense that Disney's been holding daily crisis meetings to figure it all out. From Rachel flat out refusing to film new scenes to the surprising use of CGI doubles, it seems like this whole situation could end up putting the entire movie at risk before it even hits theaters. Yikes. Let's break it down. Word is, things have gotten pretty messy behind the scenes of this Snow White remake. Insiders are saying the tension between Rachel and Gal has reached a whole new level. And Rachel was so over it during the reshoots that she just refused to take part. Can you imagine the production team scrambling to fix it? It got to the point where Disney had no choice but to use CGI and stand-ins for Rachel's scenes, literally pasting her face into parts of the movie. Crazy, right? And if you do end up watching this film, just keep in mind that what you're seeing on screen might not be as real as you think. With Snow White, and even the dwarves being mostly CGI, it's going to feel more like a 3D animated movie than the live-action spectacle we were all expecting. It's almost like Disney's turning Snow White into a cartoon all over again. So, how did things get so out of hand? Some people are pointing the finger at Bob Iger. He made some major changes behind the scenes a few months ago, firing key writers and shifting the creative direction of Disney. And it looks like that might have been the last straw for Rachel. With all these changes happening, maybe she just couldn't see herself being part of the project anymore. Now, with tensions still high and fans waiting to see what happens, the big question is, can Disney turn things around, or has too much damage already been done? Stick around, because we're diving deep into this drama that could end up having a huge impact on Disney's future. So, Rachel Zegler and her team are in a bit of a scramble right now, trying to handle all the backlash from fans and critics. They're under a lot of pressure to put out statements praising the classic Snow White and claiming they're really trying to recapture its original magic. But let's be real for a second. It's hard to buy that when the movie seems to be struggling and could end up being a massive flop that costs Disney a ton of money. Honestly, it feels like Disney is stuck in a bit of a rut, especially with recent projects like She-Hulk and the Marvels just not hitting the mark. And here's where it gets interesting. Bob Iger, despite all the chaos, is still making some pretty bold moves, even canceling projects like The Acolyte. But the real drama? It's all about the CGI dwarves in Snow White. When Peter Dinklage chimed in on how they should be portrayed, Disney panicked. They ditched the idea of using real actors for the 7 dwarves and went with CGI characters instead. What could have been a charming part of the film has turned into a questionable choice. Let's clear this up. The dwarves don't actually live in a cave. They mine in one but have a house too. It seems like Peter Dinklage might have misunderstood that, and Disney just went along with it, leaving behind the original concept for these CGI creations that don't quite cut it. It feels like a classic case of a company bending to the wrong pressure, tossing aside good ideas, and ending up with something that's tough to take seriously. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I mean. The CGI is kind of distracting, and Rachel Zegler's Lord Farquaad haircut just adds to the confusion. Honestly, it's hard to picture anyone wanting to pay to see this in theaters. It's shaping up to be a big box office miss. And get this, the evil queen, played by Gal Gadot, seems to be right in the middle of this chaos, with tensions running high on set. Even she's not getting a break from the behind-the-scenes drama. It's becoming super clear that Disney has a serious issue. They seem to have lost touch with what their audience wants. Just look at their recent projects and announcements. It feels like they're kind of wandering around without a clear direction. They're practically sabotaging their own success without even realizing it. Just think about how they handled Peter Dinklage's input. His comments were well-meaning, but they ended up scrapping something that could have been really special. So can they turn this around, or is Disney about to face one of its biggest challenges yet? Okay, let's talk about this whole Disney thing with the 7 dwarves. So, they decided to go all in on CGI, right? Not only did that shake things up for the story, but it also took away job opportunities from 7 real actors who could have brought those characters to life. Now, we're stuck with computer-generated versions that just don't have the same charm. And it's pretty disappointing when you think about the real people losing out on work. And then there's Gal Gadot. She was super excited to take on the role of the evil queen, especially since she was promised some creative control and a voice in how the marketing would go. But true to Disney's usual style, those promises kind of disappeared. Now she's caught in this tug-of-war with Disney execs and her management team, and things are getting pretty messy behind the scenes. Honestly, it feels like Gal's career has hit a rough patch. The Wonder Woman franchise is on the decline, and her new movie is canceled. She's not exactly the powerhouse she used to be in Hollywood, and this clash with Disney isn't helping. Plus, there's apparently some tension between her and Rachel Zegler, which just adds another layer of drama.
Recent whispers from the production team suggest that the filming process has been marred by a series of miscommunications and disagreements, particularly between the 2 lead actresses, Rachel and Gal. The tension between them has not only affected their on-screen performances, but has also created a ripple effect throughout the production and marketing departments. Disney, in an attempt to create a buzz around the upcoming project, appears to be facing total chaos in its marketing strategy, with a number of press events being canceled at an alarming rate. This upheaval is raising eyebrows in Hollywood, especially as insiders reveal that the fallout between Rachel and Gal has reached a level where they are no longer on friendly terms. Reports indicate that both actresses are utilizing scheduling conflicts as a convenient excuse to avoid promoting the film together, which has led to concerns about the potential impact on the movie's marketing campaign. The perception that they do not want to share the spotlight is evident, and this rift could prove detrimental to the film's success, especially with its scheduled release in 2025. From a strategic standpoint, the inability of Rachel and Gal to present a united front is worrisome. Successful marketing campaigns often rely on the chemistry and camaraderie of lead actors to draw audiences in. When 2 stars appear to be at odds, it can create a negative perception that dissuades potential viewers from being excited about the film. It sends a message that the project itself might be troubled, and that is certainly not the narrative Disney wants to project. If they hope to generate any meaningful momentum ahead of the release, the studio will need to engage in some serious behind-the-scenes negotiations to mend the relationship between the actresses. Moreover, if Disney manages to convince Rachel and Gal to promote the movie together, they may need to completely overhaul their marketing strategy. A fresh approach could include joint appearances at events, co-hosted interviews, and collaborative social media promotions to showcase their chemistry and mutual support for the film. Such a strategy would not only help in healing their public image, but would also enhance audience anticipation and excitement for the film's release. As it stands, the future of this project seems uncertain. The industry is closely watching how Disney navigates this tricky situation, and the company's reputation is on the line. A successful resolution could not only save the film's marketing campaign, but also potentially reshape the public's perception of both actresses. If they can come together for promotional activities, it may signal a reconciliation that could work wonders for the film's image. On the flip side, if the estrangement continues, it could lead to a less favorable reception for the movie. The rift between Rachel and Gal serves as a stark reminder of the complexities involved in Hollywood productions, where personal dynamics can heavily influence professional outcomes. As Disney grapples with these internal challenges, fans and industry watchers alike are left wondering, can the studio turn this around before it's too late? With the clock ticking down to the 2025 release, the pressure is on to find a solution that benefits both the film and its stars.
But honestly, who can blame them for wanting to keep their distance? With everything going on, this movie is shaping up to be quite the disaster. Hold on tight, because this roller coaster is just getting started. Hey there, can you believe anyone would actually want to be the face of this film? Rachel Zegler has really stirred things up, creating quite a mess from the get-go. Now Gal Gadot finds herself right in the middle of it all. She stepped into the role of the evil queen, But honestly, the situation has become so chaotic that even she and her team are scratching their heads about how to promote this movie. Let's just pause for a second. Did this movie even need to be made? A lot of folks are wondering the same thing about Disney's live-action remakes. I mean, these aren't just stories, they're cherished memories. Snow White has a legacy that deserves to be celebrated. So why mess with something that's been loved for generations? Disney is trying to recapture the magic of the original, but in the process, they risk tarnishing those iconic films. And it's not just the lackluster remakes that are the issue. They're tweaking major elements of these classic tales and changing what made them special in the first place. Nowadays, it feels like these remakes come with a modern twist that suggests the originals were out of touch with social issues. It's almost as if they're saying, if you love those classic cartoons, you should be on board with our new take and this so-called woke agenda. Isn't that a bit ironic? Disney is the one who created those beloved classics, and now they want us to rethink our nostalgia for them. It seems like there's this pressure to just accept this new version, flaws and all. It's a real bummer to see Gal Gadot caught up in this whirlwind, especially with Wonder Woman's legacy kind of fading into the background. And Rachel Zegler? It feels like she's not just trying to manage her career, but also dragging this whole project down with her. So, what do you think about all this chaos? Can Disney pull off a miracle and save this movie, or is it just destined to flop? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for all the latest Hollywood updates.